it up. I gathered up enough body hair that I peanut.
That's the best thing we've got going for us. Is they still
friends here, and it's on one hand they have friends.
Talking to Stevie
in a shocking death.
There's a lot of stability in my life. You know,
kind of
a car everywhere.
Yeah.
Or you start
out, but it was literally we flew back in that morning, and then at night we're having off. But I wait so the time of self-care is just like meet my standard, which is probably, if it is living life, still wearing, you know, it's in Amanda he says
a lot of people are like, I can definitely notice it's different. Well,
but the hood, the big hoods,
but
my
personally
wedding,
they all got like a 2 minutes. That's just the internal struggle with like trying most likely the positive things that define the. Of course, we have. What did I do? That
worth the, you know, is that the goal?
That's good. That's good. You should have said that.
That is the advantage that old farts can.
And he's also been in a lot of other stuff. Tobias, he came in and you got all these friends weird. Together, they're for a party, but they're really just mourning the dead. He didn't really have anything that he's, you know, sports-wise that he's really into. Just because I don't.
You're killing it too.
You
can make a lot of money. That's the mode with which athletes. You've always watched them. Untimely and shocked it is when you're that age. Like at 40 years.
And if it was the middle of the day, you'd be like, you look normal. I kind of shifted to like, oh, all these peach.
Which was literally, I mean.
2 times 60, whole repetitive thing that I do in the whole, that's a good point. That's a good.
The emulator, is that something I'm trying to?
I've got this other thing I've got to contend with, which is the fact that
sand running out.
Did I have it and I lost it? Those are the tube red at the time.
I cared.
And and so there's this chip on our shoulder that we want to.
Earlier that like I just felt like I've been in. I don't.
It's not as easy.
I don't think you need to worry about me. You know, it's like I use the term Bakersfield. And then he went back to him, noticed.
The struggle is that I'm like, okay.
Jeans in their own merch, serving 90 proof, 41 years old.
I would say 82 max.
Ooh.
And I would say probably 79. I think.
My point is, I'm saying things that are totally unfounded, and it's at a point where
players in the world are young.
She's silhouette, she's still hot. And my name said Lynn.
It was like, okay, we're not gonna bring.
I'm no ordinary dude, I ain't got to work. We did that with your party, Rat. That's what.
Leave early, and then Nick and Allison, and then Nick came up and was like, hey, you can't even drink tea anymore.
You gotta put up, you wore yours.
Well, I mean, of course I have to wear it.
Anything, I hope is that, when you're fortunate enough to.
And then you were like, purpose, man. That's the thing.
It's just.
As you get older, you start, of the most important truths of just, I think I experience a tinge of anxiety if I'm in any environment that's different. But
this is what I want to get into.
We're gonna talk. Ridiculous this whole thing is. One couple that was half of the 4-person team who made it to the finals had to leave.
Just curl up for everybody to be focused on. You might.
Friends in the party zone.
And then Chrissy and I are mingling. We can get into this, but I mean, 40's not meant. Right before the party, this mantra. You think it's a healthy mantra? Maybe it's hair. It's like, we don't need these anymore. We can't
talk about it.
Okay, there it is. There we are. Now we do the perfect thing. Then I'm not gonna do it. That would have been
why he got up every day.
But it was certainly an. When you're fortunate enough to have friends,
it becomes unlikely that the thing that is going to be the greatest thing you've ever created
in his professional life and his hobby life, he had it all very arranged.
Of course, I still have a phone, so now I'm thinking, man, as soon as this
past week or so, the one missing piece of the puzzle, which and then it's oddly to fall apart.
It's middle of the day face, which is just normal.
So your peak Rhett face at noon is what you're and then commenting on, but really we're the smart ones for putting it in the video. Always say,
I woke up alive.
Now it's up to me, you know? But when you're in charge of it, mission number one is that at least
it's joined our team. So
I will point out when you start recruiting people to
become that, but then something happens that then kind of re-engages him in what
now.
I'm less certain about a whole host of things, and
it would drive me nuts if I woke up every morning and thought this could be my last.
Too, it'd be horrible. That's the main reason I'm not a monk. I'm reading a book, and the main character knows touch it first, and you stop short before you die.
Whiskers.
I think DJs get off on
being.
Okay, we're gonna talk about getting old. But so
it's gonna provide legitimate
position to be in. I said to myself, then we die.
But that we were born.
The world has, remember the name of the book, but it's that Mercedes Killer trilogy.
Okay. Chrissy said, okay, we're gonna
how like when you've got
shave weird spot because summer stuff.
You take that. But you were gonna let that keep you from having a party?
No, it was just I think the day after the party and
gonna win. But I didn't say. All I told him was like, "Well, I'm definitely not."
She's gonna be like, $25.
She said, "Don't worry about it."
It was you set the bar really high.
Yet to create
your body hair
because it fits in weird.
Like that, it's one of Merle's best albums on it. But then, when the party goes long and the freaking DJ was singing, you know, it's like
that, and
you could have.
Jessie got her own
that are on the mud flaps of rigs.
Of course, I've got.
I wanted her to.
Those are the things rattling around in my 40-year-old mind. Yeah, you're already using the word heart.
As of the
ball is yours, but it's worth the cool factor.
Well, in the version made by Wall with an H, not a sponsor, called the Peanut.
Losing.
That's the common thing. I don't know if you could tell by the execution of my speech.
Thinking about age, and then also thinking about like, oh, I'm 40, and then I started
of our own zone where I was like,
so I ran back in and just
I paid him so he can full life, even when things don't meet. Then I want to transition into.
And also,
how does one get a phone back? As a perfectionist, these things tend to stick in your.
If you can find a way to
go when it's over.
One small. One additional thing which is something that I do enjoy. The creative process is like, that's what we're made to do through the lens of what people think about mine. That I'm hyper competitive and that's my Dan.
You mean making light of the fact that I said I'm gonna cry?
No, listen, man, I know
we had to,
is gonna be. I know that there's not true satisfaction.
Done that on a Saturday, and I think aspects of my personality in their place so that I can experience. They can't see it. There you go.
Out here, thinking that you've got some sort of we
on to subscribe.
Thanks for being Richie show.
And then you said I should get Lionel Richie, but we didn't do that. We had a DJ and I made a playlist, which as much as I could at this, and I feel like I would have had so much more fun.
About me, I'd rather you talk about something that I
have the woman on mine, and then we had our names embroidered.
I noticed
mine said Link
to parse, and I think that is. I'm
still living this dream life where I've got my own freaking logo on my shirt. Is what Waylon.
We're just processing these things. It's like helpful,
and then be commended for it.
Captive, and it was very tight, and it was very tidy.
There's a 2-week gap there where she's older, so much body hair. I stand in the shower, no water. Just so I can then gather. I think it probably is more
in the car because she was charging it with one of
what people say about 40. Let's not get into it yet.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about getting old.
Other than that, I'm very. I think we've talked about that. For me, I tried. I had to fly home.
Familiar to me.
And see,
yeah, I can't even.
I can't even.
And I recognize that it's not. This is not a healthy way to think, because the other. Am I too old to be able to create?
And we plan our focus on what is it we're gonna create this soul for a good video or
as a character. Be there for a reason.
Oh, you want me to leave it? Just let it.
Just birthday party ever. But that shouldn't stop you from trying. Buddy system fame.
When? Except when the person on the other team won his house and died in his sleep.
In your mythical best. Well, that's why you shave your head, and that's why you wear the same thing that everybody does.
There's a Don Williams version. There's a Waylon Jennings version.
With even again.
And half of one of the teams had to have had abandoned.
You had to hit that consonant. It did not. There was a lot of uncertainty. There's still.
In general, I mean, even like I said, even going to a park.
And then there's the lanes, and they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, he could. But we tried real well. I guess I was gonna let you use my jacket sleeve. So anyway, it was why it was such a shock. Packing up, and it's like, okay, that can't happen. You know, these are the things.
Then it eventually frustrate us. Are going to be the things.
Face this morning because you stayed up late watching the Jim Baker bucket.
It's only a 16-minute sprain, probably.
Yeah, I did. I can. You're saying.
I'm saying it's always the same.
That's not what I heard.
And so you start second guessing, especially a good party. So if you put
my uncle, I think he also might have been. You know, it's like I woke up alive. Now it's
a whole lot of uncertainty, but there's a reason conscious. Generally, when you in the mid, as one might think, especially when your driver does not,
because he had his life arranged, and even his family life. We're talking openly and honestly. Little community on it's more about here's the thing. What do you think I should say about it? I just don't want
it comes along with
because we don't hold anything back from you, because that's the new me. That's the middle-aged me.
Maybe he's had some close calls, but he's also an older guy.
You got it off of myself. It was like
steam rooming.
There's an art to entertainment where you bowling and everyone. I want everyone else to gather around, and when the person's going to bowl, I'm gonna in the face of the internet. What were you thinking about doing?
I was gonna watch Apollo. Cynicism and just beginning to say things like the next day was Monday. I said I don't care. And this is probably an unreasonable thing to think, but
Rhett's party is a good party, but
razor.
I feel like a kid who's just going through puberty and learning how to.
A monk somewhere has where they're like, my work is body.
Not an edged, and he was very methodical and calculated.
Establish the vibe.
Right.
This is a hipster bowl.
Like, there was a text thread.
She's really good at slogans.
Let's see, because I wanted it to be something that was.
Think that they were picking up on different things. I think that
if everything was the exact same except it being my party.
Probably is.
I'm not gonna mingling and talking with everybody. I'm like, man, it feels like a wedding reception. I'm like not getting to eat anything, and I'm like talking healthy just to rest on your laurels. So I do think it's good for us.
Is this age factor? Is the fact that now, which is an achiever, and it basically means
Fortnite.
I hear Locke talk about the latest Lil rapper. You know,
of it. I mean, it seems like there's more pressure. It certainly didn't take any pressure away. I want to say, okay, I'm gonna.
And then
we both way, you know, and I think.
I also want to get the boys into it, and especially Shepard, because
of being grateful, which was pretty dramatic. Good way to end the party.
What are the chances that 8 people's?
I thought thanks for supporting entertainment and that.
I'll do it in a way so that we make sure that the turn.
We wanted you to talk about how 39 years old, as of the initial release of this speech. So like I worked up a speech that I don't think I can top Rhett's party. I mean, it might have been a 90-minute speech. Now all I'm thinking about
shift in the sort of the unpredictable nature of what we do as a career. There's a lot of stability in what we've.
You think you're becoming
party,
more of a host?
My pride in your views, right? You get to a certain point and you're kind of
back into golf.
I'm getting back into golf because my dad's coming into town and I want to play with him. Place to be, to feel like shitting it. So I know that if we are able to make a film or we're able to make a show that accomplish anything.
Christy turned 40 on May 13th.
Ear Biscuits, I'm Rhett.
And I'm Link.
Yeah, of so many things. And I was so sure that I was right. Places? Shave your peanuts. And I was talking to him about I was throwing the bowling balls.
I actually didn't music. But the bowling alley's so loud.
Don't get to a place where you use the term
something quick and it's gonna be about F. You're like an old man up to me, so it's like.
And that and not just
noticed.
It's like, and
it's
then
like footlight in general to throw an epic party.
How the world works, man.
We're pulling the curtain back. You're seeing our.
Yeah, I guess there is some state of contentment that like, like a.
There's an underlying assumption. Two teams. Okay, for the last round of the tournament, like when the last two teams are both, I couldn't tell and I didn't care. He did a great job, and I don't think he was upset. I think I did pretty decent. Was that the last one? Whenever it was, it doesn't matter. Perfect party that I've planned, right? So when it's
ideas that we have that may transcend YouTube and may be something like a TV show or
does it start to go off of my
there's these little rappers, everybody's got Lil in front of their name.
You know, it hasn't been a year yet, but you know, been a better choice. Or in
action in those things going well.
The fact that like the song is a blues song and he's like, I mean, he's acknowledging more true of some people than other people. I think that's my problem.
How old they are, but those guys from YouTube, they seem young and they're...
Now I've turned 40 and I'm still wearing jeans.
So...
Thanks for calling me Mr. Assumptions. And I'll stick with, it was an aesthetic choice, not a functional...
Makes it a little difficult to remember which reality in the Stop and Celebrate.
As a general statement, I think...
They're on YouTube, so they must be young. You know what? I think maybe. In the same...
I don't want to hurt your feelings.
I'm sure it was different, but
I'm getting old and crotchety. I look in the mirror in total surprise to see the hair on my shoulder.
Because RuPaul actually posted...
While we're still hot.
Where'd you get that?
I think that Jesse came up with it. It's really hard to find something to put on the back of it. Like I have...
I was like, here...
Built in 1927. The
mechanism.
The mechanism in the very back. Lighting. We're gonna share some...
I think...
We're the same generation, by the way. So it's not like... There's a community of hair.
To hear this ear biscuit in its entirety and make sure you don't miss an episode, follow the links in the description.
I mean, some symptoms of getting old.
I'm so much more...
I felt in a little bit of a... He says...
You know, I
hear... Admitting that. I'm just joking. Okay.
Speak English well.
Proud and proud that I trim all like you.
And now that
don't start treating me like a child.
We're okay.
You didn't lose the tournament. You got down to the
11 p.m. right now. You'd be like, you look tired, man. Athletes in the world, even
our entire family. So like,
I mean, maybe he is a pyrotechnician.
For the hill, you know, it's like few people can walk around in
of age. So you know,
because I'm gonna own this. Christy also didn't want.
But
see, I'm fine with that joke. That
this Uber driver did not understand the system and did not really understand.
To have fun, I can just look at your face. I can't. There's no denying it. I guess
now that
people are listening, let's not have a party.
Yep.
Like, that
critic
to give you $10.
Daddy needs $10. Think about us recording in the morning. I'll hear somebody say something and be like, that is time, because I almost was on the winning bowling team.
Buzz cut with.
We got introduced through the...
We had a bowling tournament and
six pins.
I feel okay.
I spent most of my life like thinking like NBA players are older than me. And even when
right.
And I still feel that about what we do, right? So I
feel like I have things, whether it's a party or whatever it is, my life to be arranged in a certain...
and then Ben's girlfriend Jordan,
oh wow.
I owe Annie $10, but very drastic upheavals and changes and that. Right? Okay. At some point, wife. Things that...
I mean, it wasn't like...
Okay, all right, yeah.
And then I blew it.
Well...
Mud flap silhouettes.
way that there were people I saw, you saw as well. Anyway, I got it back, but it took like an hour and a half. So like the first hour and a half of your
so around the time
food, saw the bowling lanes. Whoa, gosh, I'm knocking over my water.
It's all exposed, so
But
you can
it's
see
real.
the inner workings of it.
A distinction anymore between these different medias. You know, for instance, buddy system.
I am 39 years old, but as of June, you're gonna have to cancel the party because I didn't, we were gonna be there.
The best poker play, like different people's perspectives and like.
You should plan my parties.
But
how different it was in the morning if you thought that it was better.
Healthy way to think about things necessarily. But that's the thing I've been thinking about lately is like.
They have a pizza oven. So they're like making some good, I said that a few times, but experience that.
I'm trying to fight cynicism actively.
There was the guy, Jesse could have worn mine.
Something special with like the game night.
Mm-hmm.
We were like, should we, ridiculous myself.
Hop on the mics and you can orient people to how this bowling tournament's gonna go. I'm like, well that means we need.
But then, my beautiful.
Prepared, but
then, and right now, I'm a 3 on the Enneagram.
Podcast in its audio form. If you listen to a lot of what we said in this whole conversation, it's just assumption that it's in my mind and I couldn't check out from this is making sure.
I will say just one, I'll do it. I know there are exceptions, but that's how you feel because.
Ice cube in your tea.
I feel like Jim Baker eating potato soup, which
an experience that I'm grateful that.
So take it with a grain of salt. But the thing I've been, 4 people added up with 4 other people, it comes down to just 6.
Defines you. In a way that,
that kind of thing.
I gotta solve this crisis instead of being in party mode.
Stuff that YouTubers do, and it's because it's such a broad.
Shaving my face, I'm like, I'll just go down there, shave that off a little bit. Got a little.
Having the thought of like,
I pretty hairs.
I'm thinking about it, so I look at everyone's hair. I'm saying it right now, having been through the things that I've been through today.
But in general,
with it
because it's smaller, yeah. So yeah, gosh, if this is happening at 40, what's gonna happen at 50?
You quit caring at 50.
I mean,
3 ago.
3 ago.
3 ago. Wow.
Wow,
okay.
we're still waking up.
What have we been doing? Summer's over. Might try. No, maybe a woman is 82.
If it's less than 80, lie.
No, don't. But anyway.
But you've thought of it.
Yeah. But this the idea
out of the hourglass.
When am I going to run out of time? When am I going to become irrelevant because I'm getting really self-conscious about like what we've created with your names on them.
And of course, we also have matching bowling shirts from when we did the fire bowling with you in there. But I do feel like when we set team, which is
crap ton of last night.
Oh, you did? Doesn't exist.
A ring tee.
Here, take that one back too.
Because, well,
I mean, if I threw more parties,
but you just said it.
You have led to a lot of introspection and reflection. I think that we talked. Got her on.
She went off on her own and got her own bowling shirt.
And that attended. It's so much. There's so much. God, all these
something that is gonna be difficult to do as you get older. Like I mean,
the whole party, and that's when I'm like, oh my gosh, it's
that old men have hair in other places, and I don't in the universe.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very fortunate position.
You're like. Do you experience anxiety when going to it was like the size of a human brain? It's like a proud, but in you, the oldest bowling alley in this song. But striking in the 40 boat.
Its podcasts are available.
To watch more Ear Biscuits, click on the playlist on the right.
To watch more of our I'm kind of done changing the way I think.
Buckle up. Let's start. You're not in a position to barter at this point. Well, you could barter. You give them a watch. Chrissy didn't like that. So
they didn't. Well,
striking while they got to go somewhere.
They can't be worrying about their lives the next day.
I love the internet.
I don't know. Those are just the things that are kind of running through my mind, and the thing that's complicating it, but not knowing where it's going to go. I think ultimately what you're saying is that I still feel like it's rational at this point, but to see how much hair they've got.
I'm gonna start looking at people's noses.
I never uncomfortable if you start talking.
We all flew home for that. He I'm like, what is that? A weird community up there. And I'm like, I'm just gonna.
Obviously, I think that's the key to not being anxious about something that found the nearest friend.
Seriously?
Yeah, Warden.
What we've discussed in
The
this.
significant thing we're going to create is something we have, and they were talking about the tournament, and he was like, "Oh, you were talking, and you were that's
why you were describing
my new
it.
thing is to not give you the whole thing, and then
really,
and I don't, obviously
in 40,
it continues to this day. I mean, that's a weird
done with the hair.
Could somebody look that up? I would guess that it is
86.
No.
Here on the bridge, like I just steer clear of that.
What did you play? There's like a couple of months, and then I'm 41.
Age. I didn't even know it.
Yeah. You're past.
I did that. Most people will experience like, what's this gonna be like stepping into this thing? But then when you're in charge, like
there must be some,
which made our initiative, like when we did the fireball and stuff, he had that catchphrase around and started thanking every single person.
Disposition of a person who's at a
past 80?
What is the average
He's gotta be got in there. Mythical got star.
Don't go there.
Is nothing.
Go to Mythical.
You're thinking about it. City of Los Angeles, which is one of the oldest cities in the world. I don't know if you. There's got to be a way for.
You've alone been injured in the process of
our party.
I have to talk about it. But you are entering into your 40s. Now I can't imagine. You should. Okay. Yeah. Probably not gonna be.
I just don't think it. I don't think throwing parties is for me, man.
And so I was like,
right. He's going into.
And, to believe that the most.
Right there.
Or Lindsey Sterling.
Oh.
Or something. The way the tournament was gonna work. Around a campfire.
They can see. Maybe I'm faking it. Maybe I'm throwing them for a loop.
Yeah, I can have morning face at night. I've done
good. Of course, you're here for that.
I'm here for that. A little being.
Not even your own suggestion?
And the thing that I'm trying to do, just like personally, is get to a place where I don't.
For reals.
The only thing that kept me from, but then I begin.
It's very healthy to believe.
But then I know that it's
on like the pyrotechnic stuff for GML.
I think we just die now, like 5 years from now, but probably gonna be have. That's my theory.
Hold on, hold on. I thought you were gonna say in the middle of own aging, because, buddy, I'm joining you in the boat.
To our work and what we've done, because thought about age in the way that I've been thinking about it lately, and I
do with my life by putting those ass.
Understanding.
You got pizza and you got bowling shirts.
I think, I don't know, reasonable certainty that we're gonna be okay. We don't know exactly what our job is going to look like. It took about 10 minutes to just explain that my phone is still in the car. My wife's phone eventually puts you through to this number that calls them.
More. A couple of other side notes. Funk after the thing. You know, it's kind of cliche, but I have kind of felt that way.
It is still going when everybody's still there. But we're the smart ones.
With each other, you just happen to be listening at a certain point. I think that was like, it's easier for grooming. Like you're,
and then like the game night that we've been doing.
I understand that. I want to tell you all about that party. And
is not 100% familiar. Daily Show, Good Mythical Morning. Click the playlist on the left.
And don't forget to click the circular icon. Team Mythical Beast. Through the summer.
That you had some kind of egg?
What are you talking about? Just for being sad, obviously. The perspective I try to adopt is just one.
I might die.
It must be, well, when you get older.
Who am I kidding? I also groom the fact that people are enjoying it. I'm enjoying that vicarious. And what is the thing that you're anxious about? How good of a time, who's having? You? I didn't ask any questions about it.
It's Christy. It's Christy. You really don't look great with a shaved head.
Yeah. We couldn't have a beard probably.
Have fun. You know, it's not about me.
To the lobby to be able to hear myself and hear the driver on the phone, and eventually.
Well, there's a smaller.
Even if they hate it, there's no hierarchy. You're not like he's the head monk. It's like,
So, I always feel like
you had some little like handheld like egg-shaped thing, and you were running it over.
As much as, you know.
2 hours ago, I definitely had morning face, but I got steam face now.
Oh, mind as a perfectionist that we were going to have a bowling party, and we found this amazing
accomplishments
Or create
good time, even though I was anxious about. But I want to be the best. I want to create things.
You got a community coming out of your ears.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
He's got a poker player can't have is wisdom. Now, he adopted this. They're easily mistaken for one another. I mean, do I love?
And hopefully we haven't. I mean,
we're still. I'll be okay. But then I start looking back.
Great question.
People to worry about me in that way specifically because like this in terms of like you had a grand party, man.
Set the bar.
Party smack dab in the middle and
directly about me. It's like why am I thinking that? Do a pork butt or something and well, because the thing that I struggle with is
okay, it's good that you're
being 40. Yeah. And I was like, those spicy meatballs.
Invited. Or you know what, maybe you look at my age a little bit.
It's the way it happens, man. And it's happening quicker than ever.
It fizzled.
Then you just had like another sentence and it was
fizzled.
Over.
And it turned
like, okay.
it turned
enjoyment. Well, that's another thing. Like when you're thinking of which I think is I don't know if it's a generational thing
because
oh gosh. Yeah, your wife told me but it doesn't show what their number is. I don't really understand. It's established that.
Feel any way he wants to feel.
No, but I think grammar Nazis.
So now what?
At least one of them is
and we'll talk at you next week.
Yes. 62 in the book. And I think about, this is the thing that I've been contemplating.
And hold on. Some of them
people are enjoying this. And then you take a little bit of it's nap
phase looking.
Yeah.
And then I had about being over the hill, but it's one factor. I think.
I mean, I did have probably the great. I'm a perfectly rational. It's just not that
something that he had
like
egg a peanut. It's saying this was a milestone.
Like our kids are growing up in the midst of that. I made up my mind that I wasn't going to worry about the fact that
came down to I don't give a flying F at my ears.
Oh, once you start, you just can't stop.
And it's part of both of our experiences. It's not something that just
because everybody did have a really good time. I almost had a great
the internet.
Obviously we're different thoughts about different. I want to be loved is by people loving the things that I create.
Okay,
you never know what's gonna happen.
Here's the deal. As of this current
about getting a new car, and then you start seeing that
perfectionist.
Yeah.
And
seen all the pieces before, but it was the very best, and it included that.
Yeah, this morning we do. I think we're at risk of there being a point where this gets sad, based on something I've got.
Physical indications that you're getting old.
Well, that's one.
And little red flags.
I'm not.
I told him. Is more quickly.
I think that I certainly don't think about
how much I want to accomplish, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because that generation of teenagers and the way that they think differently and
40. I think 40 is fabulous. Sort of friends in the party zone, not coworkers.
I think that's what I've been dealing with. And again, F
ear as well when you get old. I think it's your ear.
Things that
shirt brand new to the store. Go to Mythical.star.
I doubt that they can notice it's different. That's my personal opinion. Is we suggested that it was in millennials.
Mm-hmm.
The Zennials? Is that what it's called? I think we're Zennials.
Perennial.
My wife did.
Because I was like,
she's very good.
She loves that.
I think we've talked about it. And that happens so quickly. And that's 1 year out of 10. And then that's gonna happen.
This week at the round table of dim light.
I think is typical of most generations. Who are the people who are there?
The people.
But the default. There are no hatches.
When you grow, never is it more obvious. Influence kind of what you're saying about being so
my disposition. I'm always thinking about what the next thing is. And survival benefit doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. I don't want to get rid of it because then
I think spare no expense to have a party on a Friday. Problematic.
Right, because what can you emphasize?
Right. And underneath it said 40 years old. Just like me, a perfectionist.
Need to begin to, like when you get close to things as an old person.
A microcosm of what I'm trying to put in that in its place. You know, when you bowl and knock down the pins.
Who prepares, I'll have like a bunch of people over and like.
It's like I got my name painted on my shirt.
I don't care about what people think, and I don't care about, and I don't evaluate myself important things.
Dealing with clinical depression.
But many
years old. I don't want to wake up every morning and say this could be my last day because I
our shoulder in some regards when it comes just my face. I guess my face. Then I start thinking, well, maybe it's not.
I requested that Christy's shirt also print conversation. The moment of
what do they? Oh gosh,
have and be there looking at.
Okay.
It. It's not an actual camp. It's just a shirt.
It's
a shirt for a camp that.
And I just I find myself just talking to him about how
that's gonna happen. You know, and so it's pressed it into the mouse brain, and then I wrapped it in toilet paper and I put it. Maybe it's just any sort of.
I mean,
social.
I experienced. We got a friend who was losing his.
We visited in order to see. There was like I don't know, maybe 120 of our friends in the right shoulder and the left shoulder. Days since it's like just an analysis. Not only look amazingly vintage, but then the whole place 91 years old.
You know, when we talk to people in the industry, that
I don't think so. You know, I think it's something I'm trying to
about some other.
We got the Good Mythical Summer Camp.
Recognizing that I enjoy creating
in the Crystal Palace that he built and everybody, and I'm gonna start by
was not even reviewed. No, not one critic wrote a review. Like stepping into a bowling alley.
Sit and talk with your people. You know?
Did the DJ feel emasculated?
But it said 40 on the lapel. These are the type of things that you get into. The minutia of planning, you're satisfied that it now, I feel like, I told Christy
I could describe the place just so you don't seem like a braggy daddy.
Okay, yeah, well I didn't build it.
If us have ever thrown parties. I haven't had a birthday party.
I think the thing that you're on to, I should have had it on a card. You know you can't have it on a card. I don't give a fly the imperfections of life and see beauty in that. So,
well, it is one reason kind of this generation that
I guess you can call it a depression. Like if it's like a few days stint, like how I try to. That's the and the age in my. We constantly make fun of me for, which I just show on
YouTube.
And also the inside. Like I have nose trimmers that I shove in my ears, and I've looked.
Understand how that worked, and so when I got her on the phone, people don't really know that we're 40.
Than me. I mean, she's always constantly older than me, and I
created. So the but this guy I'm listening to that is a therapist and her patients, but people have to encounter it. I had just a
bowling shirt because I wanted it to represent
repercussions of getting hurt are.
Is that why you're getting into golf? It was utterly shocking to
this simple understand their survival. I was comfortable with
center
playing the music so
I didn't
loud
ask in other places. I've started to
Link's got something here.
Yeah.
Like I know how your brain works when this happened.
Definitely, which is I went because but I guess that's a good thing.
But that's
what on earth? It's like
but I've never been.
Good for him. You know, he finished a concert.
Is the fact that.
But I aspire to that.
Talking about, so I'm.
Just as our book dictated. Sure.
But he made a decision because he wanted to farm. So that was what there is a lot of stability here, and he was like,
for the family, and then get back whenever it made sense, and then come on, we need to bowl, just party. This is not about me, just
the what is the word I'm looking for?
That's kind of I was gonna say you look tired.
No, middle of the day, I would be what you expect, which is
I never got out of that since puberty. So now, I'm like,
and you need to know that you're getting close to a wall and the hair's on.
Don't have to describe what's happening because you already
many people.
But Prohibition era.
You like
when
walk in
built.
and there's a bar. Always firmly believed.
Warning you people.
Because technically your heart doesn't actually.
So I'm constantly thinking.
There and win the World Poker Tour, you see a 20-year party. That's good moment.
Which we put in, and then the mechanism, the robot thingy, picks up the pins, all of these people that mean so much to me, and it's like, you start thinking weird things about
talking about the bowling rules.
You know, it's becoming a blur. Whereas if you just attend a party, you know, it's like I'm still a kid at heart. I'm still
place, and then it just starts happening. You look around and you're like, these people are having a good time. I'm gonna enjoy it.
For 2 years now, I'm loud, like let the gray hairs fly.
The world.
Yeah, put that over there. I ain't got nothing to complain about, even though I may be over.
Basically, so that you can go through their system in the right way. They're supposed to get just simultaneously looking to the future and being like, there's so many
the egg cracked on the floor, but I scraped it up and what? What are you clicking for?
You're gonna tell them that it's the morning again?
Well, yeah.
Everything that we've done is kind of lived under this. In
the not the toilet. That's be a mistake. That's be a mistake.
Anyway, I got the phone back and started having a blast. Then I lost. Actually,
like I'm freaking plucking hairs off the top of my nose.
It gives you stop having something to wake up and do. And so, and
I've been using that, and yeah, I not in
team. Well, we didn't win, but then
go to give her that $10. That would freaking you weren't invited. So this is my way of.
But now.
And his son farms.
And he also made
that's how he went
in the past like 2 years. I've experienced a shift in
You just woke up, bowling ball, and there was flames.
The back end of the hill, they wanted to focus on the fact that
we're still good.
I think Stevie and Cassie came up to me and they were like, "Oh, we heard what you were saying about you're talking about the anatomy. You're talking about it in the emotional sense."
I know. I'm just one
category, and it's something that anybody can do.
I'm blessed to be where I'm at with and have that you showed up.
I almost didn't come. If it was 11,
they were. It wasn't up to me. I mean, you set the stage, and then hey, we're freaking bowling in this amazing place.
But it's between. There's a very small generation.
Hair on my shoulders. Like I got this like weird. I've gotten through that. Is just the party. So I wanted to tie a bow on that. But thanks for listening because. So it didn't bum me out actively, but subconsciously, the shirt for me and Christy, and we landed on, so when he's like, I'm 4.
Get a 79.74.
You're one of the people that was invited, and you'll know when I'm lying about something, embellishing to make my party seem. It's very important to believe it.
Right.
I trimmed it fun. And who am I kidding? Personal experiences, I think there might be some deep introspection.
Have a conclusion. I don't have. And then over the past 20 years, I look back at that, you know. So being like the best person here.
And you planned at the party. We really had to run interference with what you did. You know, I think we talked about.
He brings his own shoes, but I'll also say that I'm not really good at bowling, and neither.
I steered clear of yacht rock, even though that is one of my favorite genres. I kind of like it.
Saying that like.
Yeah.
Once
you know, I'm gonna live to 79.
And it probably is ridiculous on some degree, but this is coming from a man who has
farm. And everybody else was having psychology behind your statement, you mean?
Just the fact that this is not a pressure off yourself. So I think that
no one else cared. That's the thing, is like you start to focus on things in his 70s.
It could be that.
Of music, because you had the gold standard of
this less certain than I've ever been. You need to know. I think
what?
You need some
Was it worth it? Was it
back up my so I've been thinking about what other things could I
mean, Christy did say something like that. Don't know
about some stuff that you can buy.
Well, you can buy this so that I can still
but that could be read the paper. I'm just
including you, even though you weren't dramatic for these amateur.
Now,
in retrospect, if we were an example within, like retrospect, like looking at, but when I'm 50, I will enjoy it even more.
And to me, it's not about losing the desire.
It'll also be fun.
I've been 40 for months now, and they let you listen in on the session. I
I'm
was
not
not exposed to anything that challenged your worldview. Art on each side was not.
Okay.
I mean, it was one that I had idea of,
and that is something
what they say about
that it just kind of all blends together.
Yeah,
It wasn't.
It didn't register really.
I didn't want the music too loud so that you could.
So we
Yeah,
felt
they try to make it interesting.
we got.
And I don't. That sounds good. Checked out of. It's been quite a process. Between 20
subscription to subscribe on Apple Podcasts or anywhere.
Certainly is a huge factor in all this was
spearfishing. I feel then regularly eating animal testicles for entertainment on the internet. So I'm a little television in the afternoon, like watch.
See the F's?
Yeah, alliteration.
And then I was just gonna leave it at that.
Oh, that was all. And then there was a pause. Black. There's assumptions.
Oh. He was retired. You know, he was doing what he.
Are my best years behind me? And I know that that's a very cliche thing, but steampunk set.
I've just and then the
Annie were there. I was like, you guys got $10.
Yeah. You got war. I mean, dude looked the middle of my age. Yeah.
Which I had legitimately been having a lot of fun personally, but
I'm plucking those.
Yeah.
Now I pluck my eyebrows. There will be meatballs, but nap face?
No, because I don't let the power of suggestion and the environment influence my opinions.
Better?
But it was a YouTube video.
DJ to kill the music, and it's gonna be comedically dramatic.
Everybody becomes equal, and you kind of fade into humanity. Start thinking, well,
I'm not actively struggling.
Yes, is these like I want Lee Newton's comes up to me and says, I left my phone in the Uber. That's why you do this.
That mistake, I'm gonna have
years.
I think the thing that
but
you're on
because of last year, I'm like, I want to do this again.
And with the, shortly after that, we party like anybody's party.
The very best of Jim Baker. It was a compilation.
We got things I got to work through, but then beyond that, you start to think. I'm talking about the outer ridge, like right there, where I can be very grateful, and I'm typically
just on.
And it was
a landing place for this. It's just
we'll have to end it somehow.
There are multiple things happening. There's the
to
signs. It's just he's got his own thing.
Been begging to hear from Lionel.
He's got his Lionel thing, and
I'm very happy with it. And I came
to
do point that out to her in strategic moments. Do you? Whenever you
you are not.
That's not.
But we do have a T-shirt that captures the experience.
You can plant some. We were just kind of planting something so that F what people say about in the family. My uncle passed away. It was
your life is not boiled down to, but
right.
I'm not gonna not enjoy this first one.
I didn't. I enjoyed it.
Tons, right? You don't see some
older women make beautiful lovers is the country song. Mm-hmm. It's a good country.
Good point as well. It's just difficult. That's good.
We've got ours. And honestly, but the thing that's getting me
winning. So Tobias we do everything we can to make
what happened in this episode. And
there is a podcast that Jesse. So I think about like
using the part. Yeah,
kind of built up, and that stability has increased.
That with a razor.
Yeah, a little thick.
Edit this thing?
No,
I don't think RuPaul has time to.
It was a super deluxe video, while I completely relate to what you were saying, it's difficult to enjoy.
A shave, but it's my ear.
And the false belief that fucking Tobias, because I
to have the freaking party and not say, well, because it can't be the absolute.
And again, this is a pretty selfish thing because you're
think like that. You don't have to compare.
It's like I'm gonna have such a good time. Find myself.
It's the oldest bowling alley in LA.
Very, very
to have experienced your party, But Chrissy really wanted to party. All of my friends for being there. And it's not just the grain of hair. I'm glad I made the decision.
It's Jordan. We're just average.
The hairs on my head
Again, there's
are
a
turning
reason.
white.
There's a reason. This probably is 120.
Yeah.
It was 2 hours.
And you know, I think he was living that.
It was a great party. It was a really good party. I mean, Lionel Richie would have really sent it over the top. Clip. So no. I think I understand the basics. A lot of things to kind of, and Stevie and her girlfriend Cassie. And I ended up
41 years old and I ain't got no place to. I don't give a flying F what they
that you wake up to do.
It worked out.
Like a $15 reward back or whatever when they bring it back. I seem too old. When am I, is my mind not gonna be as sharp? When am I not gonna have that thing? All the best. But I think it's just a shift in a shift. Introduce, and again, we have some things that we
had a year ago.
Exactly. That's why I call it Over the Hill, man.
This Cotton Candy Randy t-shirt that I'm sporting, but we've got.
Sometimes you have to be like, you're talking, you're literally saying this generation, and I don't have a generation I made about myself. I pretty much think I know the right thing about the most
but,
well,
I effed it up, man.
Well, here's what I'll say. Because we have had a lot of success. We've had become older than the average.
The worst example of that was my wedding rehearsal dinner that, you know, I think that's true.
I would say most people, no, I was like, I think now I do think it means something different. All the confidentiality stuff is taken care of.
To your something in a video that people will feel smart. There's no guarantees. I just wanted to tie.
Right.
So I think that's.
I'm responsible for handling this, and also.
So
his career was.
Is this a Stephen King Buckets, right?
Yeah, we did. Oh, man,
is that why you got such nap? And so every few days I gotta hit the.
I mean, I'm up, man.
It's end to his life.
You know, expectancy of 80. A man in America.
How much do they really mean to me? You know, you start to think weird things, like kind of depressed.
When you start, we talked about this before, how at the prime of your life. Like now, I mean, this is like the thing that I think about all the time is, I know that one of my.
I don't know. I need to wiki that.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
But the first part.
It was a little longer than.
For what we've got.
Why, and they gave it to.
Nothing's covered.
Do we have a napkin? I don't want.
Use your sleeve.
I did not actually say this out loud, but I remember like having thoughts like that. Always do. We started talking about something.
My party.
My team was my wife and I.
I'm trying to figure out how for me I can get to eat a meatball.
Glasses, he's got great hair.
Celebrated in a huge way, in party form.
And I think you need some
introspection and overanalyze. There's a gown. We're pulling the gown back. Then you can feel like you were noticing something. It was a super cool place.
I don't know, she just told me that she walked in and to not be defined by my accomplishments, but being fearful that I have generations before ours. And maybe
got a community of hair growing right there. You see it?
That's why you
talking about in my ears.
Good Mythical Summer Camp is not accomplished.
You don't automatically have it. And I'm not saying that was a reaction to it, something that was more of. Yeah, absolutely. It's a different world. Oh, we sound old.
Yeah, so I kind of get on this in this loop because I'm like,
you're seeing our. You don't have to related, which, by the way, the lanes. I always have a tinge of anxiety when I go into.
I get a little calcified. Ever was when I was 20 years old.
Yeah.
When I was 20.
Yeah, I was there for that.
You know,
effort and planning and details, and then it's very. I have peak face.
I still have what you would consider morning face.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and this guy's 60.
I'll leave it at that because you know me. I ramble.
Bowling place, very cool place. All the bowling balls are. Yeah, I should become
a tour guide. the mythical crew members were all.
No, but I mean,
and of course, no one
knew
but
that
me.
that's what you wanted.
Right.
That before and
it doesn't matter.
I don't think anybody other. Welcome. And so that's when I start getting to accomplish those things. It's
lame.
Comment on the internet when you asked, let us know what you think. I need a t-shirt that says
one over here.
Should wax it.
Shave that one off over there.
Kill the
man version on my own. And when we started looking into the man version of our own, the 2 days leading up to the party, I had
paddleboarding thing is or at least paddle surf
is not the hair on my head, but the hair
of children or this generation of teenagers, and then say something negative
and sink it. Oh, you giving it away, you lost. Yeah. Well,
a lot of things go well, and we know, just like we talked about in the book of Mythicality,
honest about what we're doing, but and I want to be sensitive in term depression,
something that actually exists yet.
So I'm trying. I'm on the backside of that now.
Rational to believe. Oh, he didn't have anything. So you may
thinking I know the best way for everything.
I don't know. Experience that one might have there. We've got the two of us
in that song, Amanda, which
generation that's between Generation X.
On like the outer, it's just blooming, man. The time
what
it
else
takes
do you have to do? Less certain about a lot of different things and more open to watched
eating something that then I felt the need to actively engage in. Let's not even keep it in the
just how much is like Judge Judy and Dr. Phil and his life.
That was it.
Okay.
That was it.
Right, okay.
I had planned just that, and I aspire.
Well, statistically,
yeah.
Speaking of just every part of your body.
Her on her own shirt, and I was gonna have the man.
This is
I said the word.
Yeah. You start noticing, oh, that guy's younger than 13.
Oh, again.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
I was like, it's you at this point we should just make people guess by looking at the face. And it's 60, you're probably not gonna want to be willing, you're not gonna be willing to last minute. The ingredients in play, aware of that, and I'm aware of the
a ridge in my ear.
When I got into the party, just
Grow
saying
out.
that like
lyrics in some versions are also
were whatever.
Say about turning 40. 40 is fabulous. Which I'm
trying to fight
something. I wanted there to be an activity. So I'll do that. I'm like, well, I gotta have my
from a time gone by. So like you got this like you cannot have a meaningful conversation with anyone.
Yeah. Or what I don't
I don't know what the
admittedly it's not helpful.
is.
You just retire and spearfish. Here, use that
basically. Batten down the hatches.
Whereas our kids
need something
in
to
one
wake
form
up
or
and
another.
Do.
Yeah. What's the average age? Because I'm gonna beat that, or I'm at least gonna hit that. I think
part of it is this.
Wasn't. I'm not trying to be an example, but here's what I wanted to do.
Hatch.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the four guys is Davin, who works for us, and he has professional bowling shoes. So there would have been other people there on a Saturday, but I don't know if that would have been.
Stay tuned for that. First, we're gonna let you in that. But if I can just enjoy the process about things, there is a certain connotation. I anticipate that was what you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say
our best work is ahead of us, but at some point you just. I think that's for me. Is that what I'm trying to?
That's something they do.
It's something they offer.
I have been thinking about this actually quite a bit.
There's like a level of anxiety that maybe every.
The last thing I'll say. Still have every reason. Same thing that everybody does. Enough kids, like just don't use that terminology. This maybe we haven't, but we have a chip on our and then wanting to fight against in
an environment where there's no way to not be.
We can't do a party like we did last year, but like neither of
off a kid playing golf. I hear.
Too late. You got to start them when they're like 1. So far in my life, the way that $16 cash. Now, the thing said give $15
point in my life.
For party. I was kind of dealing with that and like having to go out and hey, oh dang, I said 79. That's 78 points. What?
To make a speech. Are you what? She's like, I'll talk first, and then you can do
party. I was when
exposed to almost everything on earth just by virtue of another country music. It's like Christy and you encouraged us to do.
We kind of grew up in a place where you were not a few times that we've been. Oh, I've already been to the gym. I've been in a steam room with several other blood. I mean, I hate to burst your bubbles for everybody, but I mean, that's all happening in your freaking brain. Something just because we gave you the opportunity to say it.
And that's
that's how I want to these things that you create for your own self-glorification. I'm
then on this therapy session for noticing
people kept coming up and saying they were having a good time. I was having a
final team, championship team. You should have an advantage to
create something that people can't help but encounter. I enjoy food more if I go to a restaurant than if I make it for myself and for other people. But
plan it that way.
Oh, good.
To end the party. In the days following the party, we ultimately decided.
You just said that I would have more fun if this was not my party.
Lionel is not responsive.
Lionel Lil Ridiculous is my rap name. But hold on, but the one with
okay,
and I just said
did RuPaul, and then I was gonna say, I can't even remember it right now.
I'm about to get up.
What? Did you just burn yourself on tea? About it, except that,
very particular.
To smaller clippers that all of the hairdressers have.
Here's 16.
It seems like country music is my religion in this episode, so I just
cared about
all those things together for me have
to accomplish. That maybe I've accomplished the greatest thing I'm ever going to accomplish. Our MO is to accomplish something and then immediately move on to the next thing without stopping and really appreciate
just the sheer distractor.
$, that's all I got.
And said that in I guess it was the last episode talking about in the morning. But it's what are you getting at? Maybe you're getting at?
I'm just saying it's another observation. This in some ways that is just a. I think that this next generation
gone, so let's just close up
the way we thought about that foundation. But I think that our children, she brought it back. And then when I went out, I had 6.
So thanks for listening in. General have been worth it. In terms of like what that does to relationships or, Wick Owens died in his sleep.
For a returned item. I had 16, that's all the cash I had on me.
Cool spot. Chrissy and I had matching bowling shirts. I don't know if you heard her say 40 years old.
Hold any thoughts. I mean, it's just a muscle that pumps. Anybody who's watched the show.
As a personality type.
I mean, it was just like, I remember sitting around and actually have to deal with whatever the physical, like thumbing down the road. You know what I mean?
We're in the middle because we're like meatballs at the party. Well, there was meatballs at the party.
Was that a special request because of our book or the follicle, man?
And I think this is common because about maintaining the tidiness.
No pink balls here, no blue balls either. It's just all black. Yeah, and I'm also trying
his age, especially when you pair it with like the song I'm sure the rest about to hold up. We got the Dink It party again as an analogy. It's saying I think
has gone through
body hair. Like my leg hair, I like keep that reflection on my life and the 40ness of myself.
Punk.
It's all
and to be able to get people to care about it. Who knows that? I want to win. All I know is Rhett said he's definitely not going to win.
And Stevie was like, first all you want.
I just got to maintain the balance here. First. It's the first in the it's just a shift.
Mentality. Over the hill.
Is recently retired. And he just sits and watches. I heard Joe Rogan say one time that everybody needs, you got to have something.
Seeing depression. I don't know what I want to say about.
For those of you who know the Enneagram itself.
You can't.
Don't lie. Tell us the truth.
78.7.
78. Very cool. and something that you didn't fully.
On my nose.
Oh yeah, the tip of the nose.
Like
question that I can't escape, and that's.
It's hard not to nick your ear when shaving it with a razor, man.
You have to get
Seriously.
Yeah, I was like. Oh.
It takes to get all the hair off my body.
I use my care about. I can anticipate what that feeling.
A tragic accident on his farm. Okay, just for my personal enjoyment. Well, yeah, next time you should, you want to be defined. You know, attainable, you have to sacrifice enough things that it may not.
And I know that that's healthy in a lot of ways, but it also scares the crap out of me.
Is this episode, I do feel the need as we're shutting this thing down to just say
black balls with
the episode where we tasted the Jim Baker on my ears. And I ain't even talking, not the bridge, but like just above the nostrils, right in the middle.
Like a troll. Mm-hmm. And she was holding the.
We have it, but right? I'm saying something that's gonna get everybody's attention. It's very, man. Like once I got into it, I couldn't back out. And I'm like, I'm not gonna make.
My many personality defects is signature to go away.
Recording this, I am just closing themselves up with to believe. And this just, I think is what I came up with.
Right.
A combination of bowling and over the hill, if it's not clear. Like a freaking troll.
Yeah.
And
troll
so
hairs.
I'm not shaving those.
You need to worry about me.
I think we've been very
different things, and it began to kind of change.
Some of that perspective to have. You can't do it on a Sunday night.
You can't have people worrying about.
A lot of people gotta.
Some sort of sensitivity. It still is. I don't know. Is that you tend to.
It doesn't hurt me because that wasn't part of my plan.
But Lionel's not. He's not that responsive.
Not is this great, but obvious in the 2 weeks when she's 40 and I'm not.
Right. They didn't want to focus
inside my own heart. Okay.
Oh gosh.
Here's the deal.
Basically, it's how do you want to be loved? Mm-hmm. And so the way that he made the decision to stop doing he could have kept working at his other job.
You know, unless it makes, I do think that's true of us. Well, I would specifically
when things are happening and
wig me out, but I think it, like, and I don't think there's anything wrong. I'm not gonna apologize. It's just not a healthy path.
Buddy system. Nobody. Morning face is,
but I'm
distinguish you as yourself, you know.
First, 2018, I'm gonna get a good satisfying experience, but with the party, any yacht rock cover bands at your party.
So at some point, it will become, and so I'll get.
You know, the frequency, fidelity is what it takes to get there, you know. And I think obviously I'm a little too cerebral when it comes to my own party. I trimmed off our bare bottoms in the hospital. That's not a curtain. Well, there is a curtain, and then
I find an incredible satisfaction, not just in the results, but in the process. You know,
Saturday night is my other thing. Because we rented out the whole bowling alley, and there was no way we could have.
Monday is what I said.
I'm
gonna find some kind of purpose or ultimate satisfaction.
His parents farmed, he farmed.
And then she was like, 25.
Ooh.
The world of YouTube. You know,
the thing about my personality type that's different from yours is I'm a perfectionist. We knew it was a great party.
Anything that it's difficult to enjoy a meal that you cooked as someone who
he talks about
meatball because
that would have been a horrible mistake, right? And I think that's we'd be like, hey man, glad to see you again. I can't remember his name, and he would all compare. I'm crowding 30, become 40. And I've already.
I especially, and I'm a futurist. Take a mental note. Next time I have a bowling birthday party,
owe it to you to give a complete play-by-play of my party, listening to your face.
But now that we've done 1 year biscuit in the morning, I think
mission number one is just
people are
absolutely be very positive. I've been experiencing a little cloud of negative.
And what I thought was, they were so big though, I don't think we could have played hide the meatball. I didn't even think about playing.
I could have loved. I mean, it's not a joke, but he died doing what he loved. He was on it.
The word YouTuber, and
if they're looking at it, they can see it. They are looking at it.
Well, but yeah, again, it's like 77 to 83.
Okay.
Again, this is just stuff reporters make.
I have in my mind what is the perfect party. The perfect
to that.
Depressed thoughts.
Okay.
It's like, I don't know.
Interesting. I thought you were going to
kind of sad. I'm definitely thinking more about it. I think when I mentioned this Highland Park Bowl, super cool venue, right? Like we had never been there, but weaknesses of being of bowlers to feel like they're in a freaking bowling tournament. That will be funny, and it will. The last roll.
Yeah.
When we'd see him, and I wanted her to put those on the collar,
with a pair of truck nuts,
the lapel of her, and in the end you lost by.
Because I've been thinking about doing store. This is the Good Mythical Summer Camp T-shirt. This generation.
And anatomically speaking, I don't have a bubble to burst, so.
And
no.
But you can click on help. Click on I lost an item.
I didn't renovate it.
But this place was.
It is. Looked at you on Good Mythical Morning enough to know that you gotta have. The silhouette of the women.
Survival benefit.
Like when you get so old.
There's a reason.
The one thing that we can have that 20-year-old of a profane and things
that people notice. And while that's been by that request.
All types of Good Mythical.
See? I was holding it outside of the frame. We do but it is ahead of you. What's
statistically
the best work is ahead of me, right?
A 1.
I noticed a woman I didn't
sorts them all out and puts them back down.
It looks
and
like
sucks
a
the ball up.
Enjoying your party in the way that I would have liked to.
You can stop clapping now. You can book?
Yeah, it's the first
thing that you've ever observed from this guy. To adopt, I'm staying with country and throwing around and even if that's utterly false.
Okay, I'm sure it was different.
I'm just being facetious.
Let me backtrack a little bit. We did what we always exponentially just in the past 5 years, in a way that I did.
Bowling shirt, and when she nixed that idea, I put it on my.
But
well, this is as close as we're going to get to that. Early '80s
and throw love in there.
Yeah, just throw love in there.
NBA player, you still see them as older because you see them.
Hey, the old guy with the beard who worked on
at least a percentage.
I'm almost 40.
At least a percentage of you definitely said some
music lyrics for some reason. It's healthy for me to come to grips with, of course, and maybe that does mean throwing more parties.
But
I'm gonna get the D.
Not gonna win. My team is Stevie and Cassie and Jesse and me, so I'm definitely not.
Yet, boop, it was over, and the party on a Sunday night,
a movie or something like that. Even though there's not really that much.
It's something. I don't mean to insult you, Ear Biscuiteer. Listen,
but then I start thinking, okay, but at what point?
So it was a cool. All right, Waylon and Don went through this. I'm in good company. We also planned.
What about?
That don't matter that much. My eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay. Around, I was more than happy to be a part of it. I was like, but we got okay. I want there to be. I had multiple conversations with Christy in the privacy.
At your own party, it's like
put in its place. The strengths /
35-year-old come in. They definitely feel older than them, and I just retirement is nowhere in sight.
20s because I'll say and for what we've already accomplished, even if that's it, but it's not. I put it in the trash can. But here's the last place that I've noticed hair that
internet to all kinds of. I was like, well, I'm definitely engineer. Like other experiences, could I engineer for groups of people? Maybe
overwhelming for me. I think the thing that I learned was, because when I'm like brushing my teeth and repping your justice.
Yeah.
He was 69 years old.
Chapter that thing in the way that we do. I mean, as much as
a clipper.
Yeah, a peanut.
There's up in Waylon here. In the song Waymore's Blues, he says 100%
that 20-year-old, and I'm like, what an idiot. You know, I mean, but now I'm sure it could have been compressed into a much like a mountain. I want to be on my final team. I don't.
78.74. Oh gosh.
Yeah, look, dude.
I've already passed middle. Doc that he had an accident. Is totally against or black. You think they're just little white hairs? No, I have a few that are actually black.
I don't want to care about accomplishing things, but if I don't care, I want to.
You put up healthy boundaries and things like that. Yeah, there's a certain type of clippers, you know, like hair clippers that zzz, you give someone a butt and experience that.
Naked fellas.
Okay, you know. Great song, by the way. And I do take comfort in the fact, and I was like, they were like, we can have meatballs. I was like, there will be meatballs. Thanks for coming to my party, Rhett.
Oh, you're welcome.
When you walked in, I was so relieved.
Yeah,
I turned to a heartfelt thanks to Egg and Funk. It just puts it in perspective. It was late 70s.
He's got something. He's prepared something, but then
he was trying to access.
The point in being a monk is to kind of take away the things that I did not know.
The second part, because you still had his number.
There was a communication. Her number, Mr.
You know, there's of course no guarantee that should be like, what the heck? And this was it. I was gonna say,
like literally. Walked in, saw the dilly dallies, and
on his own land that his grandparents' farm. I mentioned earlier about the hair on your shoulders and dealing with that, but like the dude is with the party, man. Pizzas.
Oh, the food was incredible.
And
on Twitter, experiences for people.
Every
Mercedes Killer trilogy, which I don't know if that's the name of it, but. I can't remember different, and then
it's the power of suggestion.
And then they started to read because nobody cared about you. I want to see us.
I have to admit, I did how I'm interacting with getting older because
we're not gonna cry.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below.